These days, Malik doesn't ask for much. As tired of war as he is exhausted by fleeing conflict, he longs only to find a country to live in where his young daughter doesn't panic they will be bombed every time she hears a plane fly overhead.
The other countries involved in this conflict are playing at something much bigger than just Syria.
For him, renewed diplomatic efforts to end the war back home barely inspire confidence anymore. It's gotten so bad that at this family-friendly space at a camp on Lesbos, he and his wife now actually feel they have much in common with these playthings. Wondering how long they'll be bandied back and forth by an international community they feel is in no rush to end their suffering.
Every 2 or 3 months, diplomats put on a conference or hold a meeting about Syria, but it doesn't bring any peace to Syrians.
For Malik, and so many others here, life in a refugee camp is certainly hard, but not nearly as difficult as trying to stay alive in Syria would be.
All the Syrians I've spoken with here tell me that their realities are so far removed from any lofty expectations that may be surrounding diplomatic talks in Vienna. They're quite pessimistic about the idea that any kind of diplomatic solution can be reached. Still, it's fear here that's far more prevalent than cynicism.
A fear for relatives still stuck in Syria that combines with a worry that appearing on camera will endanger them all. This woman tells me she'd be the first person to go back to Syria if things improved, before adding she knows they never will.
It's like it's become a world war over Syria. Everybody who has an interest entered the conflict, and Syrians are the ones paying the price.
Another woman says she believes that as more countries got involved in both the fighting and the diplomacy, the worse it all became.
If the fighting was just between the regime and the opposition, one of the two sides would eventually win out over the other, and things would get better. But now there are so many sides in the war, so how can it possibly end?
It's a question no government official has been able to answer on an island the war-weary continue to cross into. Their pain is constantly visible, a desperation that's far more apparent than the diplomacy attempting to make it all go away. Mohammed Jamjoum, Al Jazeera, Lesbos, Greece.